I just answer it, and then I hang up because I don't want no messages.
Right.
If it's really important, you can call me back. It's not, and it's only about, hey, you want a car insurance? We got the
Yeah.
insurance for you.
So I just want to
So,
say hello to everybody. We are live with Eddie and Jenn from Mythical Journeys. There's I have to admit that I have never watched a single one of their shows. They are all new to me, and so you guys are going to have to tell me all about yourselves. So tell me about Eddie and Jen.
well, what does that want to tell?
We do everything.
We do. We try to be like a variety channel, not just paranormal, but it just so happens that the majority of stuff we do is paranormal related.
Okay.
So
Yep.
we just can't keep away from it.
So why is that? Tell me about that.
So yeah, we actually started. It all started when we first met. We first met back in '97,
Okay.
and I used to have long hair, dressed like Prince, and all that stuff. I did. I looked like I should be on the other side of the fence, but I had to reassure Jen that I wasn't that type. I love my LGBTQ community. God bless you. I love you. But for me, God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. But it's all good.
Okay.
So with that said, we'll go a few. We got married in '98, but we didn't really notice until '98 that we both had something in common, and that was the paranormal. Uh, I had a loss when I was married before because Jen is not my first wife.
Okay.
And, but she'll be my last.
Okay.
So, like that. And but what I experienced that during that time when my first wife passed away, I swore that I seen her at the foot of my bed. And a lot of my family thought I was crazy and I was tripping. They had me put in a mental institution, and I had two stepkids from that previous marriage. I ended up losing them, and then also losing my son, who she died having, because she died of childbirth, cardiorespiratory arrest.
Oh my goodness, how sad.
Yeah, she was 27, I was 20, And so if there's any young people out there that's thinking about getting married, listen, do yourself a favor. Think about it first, because when that reverend says, till death do us part, it really tugs your heart when you have situations like this happen. So, but other than that, we noticed that we had this paranormal thing about each other. She is like more of an intuitive, and so tell about you.
I've been knowing about the paranormal since I was a child. So I first started seeing spirits when I was more older than I was younger. I was like 13.
Swear, you want to
when I realized that I noticed the spirit, because at that moment in time, I didn't really didn't.
Let me go grab my chair. I'll be right back.
I didn't know it was a spirit. Okay.
Okay.
On our way to a park with my mother, and I thought she hit a person on a bike.
Okay.
And I'm like freaking out. My mom stops the car. She gets out. She looks around. She goes, "There's nobody out here." I was like, "I swear you hit this guy on a bike." And she's like, "No, there's no one out there." So after that, I started, hearing them talking. And then back in, in that around that time period, they didn't allow, that kind of stuff. That stuff, you're psychotic, you're crazy. And so they had to admit me in the hospital and put me on medications. So my mom never really was into that whole.
Ooh, I'm so dark. Me so dark. So
sorry.
It's the lighting. The lighting is like got me looking like ooh. Hi, Manny. Go ahead.
Sorry, that's my autistic son.
Yeah, he's severely autistic, has mild cerebral palsy and epilepsy.
Oh, okay.
And he's nonverbal.
Okay.
So yeah, that's probably about the time I started seeing spirits. My mom always told me stories about us living in haunted houses growing up, and I guess maybe it's genetic and didn't really, never caught on with them really, because growing
Yeah.
up in a very Christian household that was shy upon.
Okay.
So, but yeah, when I met Ed, I didn't know he was into the whole paranormal thing. But it seemed like the paranormal just followed us everywhere we went because every house we lived in had
So
some,
it was following you.
every house we lived
Yeah.
in had some
And,
kind of paranormal.
and not just me following it. So,
Okay.
and
And
then,
so
oh,
I'm
oh,
curious though, if you have, okay, so you guys told me before we came on or whatever that you guys do have three developmentally disabled
yes,
people in your home, and do they, because of their disability, do they by chance have heightened abilities? Out of
yes,
curiosity.
yes,
Yes.
especially Manny.
Okay.
Because Manny's being nonverbal. So Manny is the type though that when we're at cemeteries, if you watch some of our videos when Manny laughs, and
Mhm.
there's times that he'll point because he can see them, but we can't, and they know that,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
And so they don't scare him or nothing or anything. As a matter of fact, a lot of times he's entertained by him. And a few times we know for a fact that they were kids because Manny's mindset is of a child.
Right. And I was going to say, a lot of times, whenever they are like of innocent mind, so to speak, they seem to not have a bad interaction with them.
Right.
Um, so it seems. You do have some horror stories out there about children who have had bad experiences, but I also wonder if part of that's not the parents not understanding and making it scary, so to speak.
Right.
You know.
Right, exactly. I feel like my belief on the demonic part of it is it's rare. It's very rare. I mean, it happens. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. It's just I feel like that people get it interpreted wrong. I feel like a lot of if a spirit dies angry and moody and just aggressive, they're going to be the same way in death. You know what I'm saying? So
Air fist bump.
it's not demonic. You know what I'm saying?
I
Right.
agree, 100%.
And
That's
we've
my
been doing it long enough to where we know the difference. You
right.
know, and when we do spirit box sessions in our home, we don't invite negative spirits in here, only
Mm-mm.
positive.
Right.
And we've had nothing negative happen to us, thank the one
No.
upstairs, in our universe. But
Right.
Well, I feel it. You know what I'm saying? The best thing about that is that, being sensitive, I can feel. When you have that ability, you can feel it, and you're like, okay, no, I'm cool. I'm not even going to, let's get away
mhm.
from that area, that situation. I guess.
We like doing cemeteries though because a lot, number one, it's very peaceful.
Yes.
Number two, there's a lot of spirits there that's just trapped. They don't understand. Some of them don't understand why they're there. And then the ones that do understand why they're there, they just want answers. You
Right.
know, and I tell people this: if you were mean and nasty in life, you're going to be mean and nasty in death too. It doesn't change. You
Because you
know,
are who you are.
exactly. So when we do a spirit box session, we do it out of respect. We let them know that we come out of respect and love, and we mean no disrespect to you. You
Sure.
know, and a lot of times we get a lot of positive responses. Even the ones that's negative toward us, they still respond, and that's what we want. It's just a good response. They'll tell you like, go away 1 minute, and then I can leave that cemetery, come back a week later, and then they welcome me.
Right. Right.
Because they've always seen me. They know why I'm there. And there we go with another false caller. And they know why we're there because people got to understand this is just a temporary housing that we have. So when we leave this, we're just a shell.
Right.
Okay, this is just a shell. We are a ball of energy. Now, this is my belief.
Now, I'm already on the same page. Go ahead.
Right. And this is my belief. When we leave this, we have a choice where we want to go. You know, If there's a heaven or a hell, we'll find out when we get there. But those that are left here traumatically, whether it be murder or the S word or something like that, they're stuck because a lot of them are just going to replay themselves like a tape recorder, which is residual. So if you get those in homes, it's because no matter if you're there or not, they're going to keep doing what they're doing because they don't see you. They're only reacting the last thing they did before they met their demise.
So I guess then my question is just for clarification. Those who are residual, you don't believe that it's just necessarily like an imprint of that energy, or do you actually believe that their energy decided to stay in that moment?
It's just stuck in that like a replay loop.
Right? Yeah, it's just a loop. I think a lot of it, some of it is imprint because you got to remember your home, especially wood, it soaks in. So that's one of the reasons why they're stuck in that place. Now, once you destroy that, like you do a remodeling, sometimes that residual can come out of it, and now they're upset because you done destroyed their home and you modernized it, which we call poltergeist. They start opening cabinets, opening doors and refrigerators and stuff like that, cooking your food for you in the morning when you get up for breakfast. Like, hey, thank you, Mr.
I wish. I mean, if they're going to be doing something productive.
I wish they would. That would save me time.
But let me tell people that that's just my belief. You don't have to go by what I, believe. It's just that there's a lot of fakesters out there that make you want to believe certain things. I've met Ed and Lorraine Warren. Okay, I've had a one-on-one conversation with them. And one of the things Lorraine told me was that she liked my heart. That was the first thing. She said the second thing was I had a certain gift because, and let me say why she said that. This was back in the early 80s. Like I told you, my first wife passed away. And I told her I seen her at the foot of my bed. Now, back then, I was one of those black people that did not believe in ghosts whatsoever. You couldn't get me to believe it. If it's Casper, I'll believe in that. But other than that, no. I know what I saw. So I turn on a television and you have what's called white noise. Now that was back when you had UHF and VHF. There was no cable.
Yep.
So I would turn the channel and I would hear people talking. And I had my sister and my brother Art over one day, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, do y'all hear this? And they were like, hear what? All I hear is the static. I said, no, there's something in the static. And that, as a matter of fact, that's when they had me put in a mental hospital. They told my parents called the police and had me put in a mental asylum.
I hate that for you guys. Both of you guys have been through that, and that's absolutely awful.
Yeah.
One thing that we as Abyss Paranormal, we get all the time, people think we're crazy. People think we're crazy. And one thing we always try to reassure everybody is you're not crazy. Now, maybe you have something we don't know about, absolutely. But when it comes to the paranormal, either there's an explanation or there's not. And we're left with nothing but the paranormal in that case. So let's find out what it is.
Right.
Then if you still feel like you're crazy, then go seek help. I don't know.
Right.
And
so that's what led me to, as a matter of fact, when I met Ed and Lorraine Warren, I was working as room service and I was a cook at a hotel in downtown Akron, Ohio. And they were there doing a seminar. Now, and I seen that they were talking about the paranormal, and I knew the paranormal, and I was like saying abnormal. So I'm like, well, you know what? Let me go to this and see what this is about, And so I took some time off. I asked my boss if I could go in as soon as I punched out. As a matter of fact, the seminar was over. They were packing up. And I was just getting off work. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, sir, can I talk to you for a second? And they was like, sure, have a seat. And I said, I don't want y'all to think I'm tripping or that I've been smoking anything funny, but I just want to tell y'all what I saw. And I told them my story. And that's when Lorraine told me that I had a special gift, because if I can hear white noise and hear voices coming out of that white noise, not a lot of people can do that.
Right.
She said, a lot of people, of course, are going to think you're crazy. She said, try doing it with the regular radio, AM FM radio, and just turn your knobs up and down.
Right.
So I did that. And I started, as a matter of fact, when we started ghost hunting ourselves, before we had the boys, we were doing just that. We would use the AM FM radio, and we would have spirit box sessions.
Sure.
Yep. And so we were doing this for, oh my God, well over 20 years.
We just never went on YouTube.
We just never really did it on YouTube because we didn't want people to think that we was 2 sandwiches short of a picnic. You know,
I mean, so seriously though, you still, even to this day and age, you still have people who think like that about, paranormal investigators. But here's my argument. If you are Christian, then you believe in the Holy Spirit. Why would you refer to that word spirit if you didn't? You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's my concept of the whole thing is when Jesus died on the cross first and he arose from the dead, he didn't come back alive.
Exactly.
He came back as spirit.
Exactly.
See, that was an argument I have with my own aunt. I have a lot of relatives that are Christian, and they still think I'm crazy to this day. But one thing they couldn't hold on me is when I told them this. I said, so you believe in Jesus Christ, right? And they was like, yes. You believe that he rose from the dead, right? And they said, yeah. And I said, and the disciples saw him, right? And they said, yeah. I said, so what does that make him? They're like, well, I said, ain't no well.
Yeah.
It's either he's a spirit or he's not. And then they tell me, well, you shouldn't be playing God and this, that. This is the work of the devil. And I had to sit them down about that because I've also studied to be a pagan. So a lot of that stuff, they can't try to throw that on me and say that what I'm doing is devil worship and this, that, and the other. No, even Jesus sat with the pagans.
Yep.
I totally read it in Corinthians. He sat with them.
All the holidays that are adapted from paganism.
Yes. So. Yes. And I want to say hi to, is that Shawman?
Okay, so that's Dina, Shaw Woman.
Hi, Shaw Woman.
And then we got Jonathan from Crossover Paranormal Society.
How you doing, Jonathan?
And then Abyss Paranormal is in fact Vicky, my team lead.
Okay, because I'm sorry that she's not here.
Oh, she is.
Oh,
she monitors from the chat. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and so yeah, she kind of lets me take the reign on the show, and then so on Mondays we do this show where we get to know other paranormal investigators, and then on every other Thursday we do a cryptid show with Steven, another person.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Dina says Jesus was against organized religion. He wanted people to come together and have no leaders, called the Way.
Yes. Thank you. You really know your stuff there, Shaw Woman.
Dina is very, very smart. You should get over. She has a YouTube channel herself. She's very musically inclined.
Oh, same here. This is a group I used to play for back in the day. They're called Zap. They're the ones that did a song called Computer Love back in the day. That was us.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
And our frontman, Roger Troutman was our frontman. And he did a song with Tupac called California Love.
Crap.
He did the talk box.
He was the guy in the talk box in the car.
Yes.
I love Tupac.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Roger did the song California Love with Tupac and Dr. Dre. Roger used the talk box on the beginning where he goes, California Love, you. And I used the talk box also.
That is awesome.
So yes, I've been a musician before I did this.
So back in the day, I used to play trumpet and piano. And then as an adult, I joined just a local rock band. Dina's impressed. Ooh, snap.
But yeah, the song Computer Love, Roger, when he wrote that, he was ahead of his time because the song came out in 1985. And the song was talking about computer dating.
Oh. Huh.
And they even have computers back in the 80s.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was way ahead of his time.
I bet my husband, if so, my husband was born in '78, so there's a good chance he might have heard the song. And I was born 2 years before the song came out, so I know I have not heard it. But my husband is a computer tech, and so like he likes all that kind of stuff, like just on the verge of the nerdy side of things, And so,
I wish I was a computer nerd. I'm not. I mean, I'm
I'm not
just
like
lucky
mine
to be
too.
able to play keyboards.
I got you. Yeah, he and I are two different sides of people. Like I do love the musically inclined. I like theater. I like movie. I don't
Mhm.
know, whatever. He reads textbooks for fun. He
Right.
does. He does. I don't even know what the name of the math is. It's so complicated for fun. It's just he's too smart for his own good, and you just want to choke him sometimes. Like just stop
Right.
it. Make
Hey,
it take.
there's
Make it
nothing wrong
take.
with that. Nothing wrong with that at all, though. God bless them. God bless people that's got that God-given talent like that.
He's very smart. He
That's
is,
what it is.
but he just lacks so much common sense. That's
Mhm.
the downfall. You can only be one or the other. Luckily, though, since being with me, he's learned to see gray. It used to be absolute black and white for him, one
Right.
way or not. And I'm like, no, there's always a middle. Let's find that.
Right.
you know.
Right.
Um, okay, so why don't you guys share about maybe one of your most favorite investigations? Tell us about it.
Hmm. One of our most favorite investigations. What would you? Because there's been a lot. What would you say? Any of them that? Because we always have. That's another thing about us. We always have fun and what we do. So that's why if you watch our videos, I always have little memes, little quirky memes in it or something like that, because I want to make it entertaining. And it's time for Manny's medicine. I think it's sitting right there. Okay. Um, and so we want to make it entertaining. So our favorite. Oh my gosh. Oh, I know one. It was me, Cody, and John.
Yes.
When we went to our friend John, he used to have HFL Paranormal, then changed the name to the Storm Chasing Guy because now he's a storm chaser.
Oh, I love doing. I studied weather to be a storm spotter myself.
Really?
We're expecting. I know you guys are in Texas, right? But
Right.
here in Missouri, we have a big old cell coming. It's bad.
Really? Because he's in
Yeah.
Oklahoma right now chasing.
Is he? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So Joplin. My sister lives in Joplin, and she's
Ooh.
yeah. So she's texting me earlier. She's like, "I'm not ready for this," and I'm like, "Just be ready."
Just calm down, and everything's gonna be all right. God's gonna make everything okay because He's not ready for you yet, and that's what you got to keep telling yourself. He's
And she
not ready.
survived the big one that one time that year, 2009 or whatever it
Oh
was.
yeah, Joplin. Oh yeah, that was a big
That
one.
was a horrible.
I remember that one.
So at that time, she was actually working for ISL. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that or not, but it's individualized supported living, and it's people who have intellectual developmental disabilities who cannot
Right.
take care of themselves. It's a home for them to live in with staff. Okay.
Mhm.
Now they had one guy who had Down syndrome, and he was a habitual lap walker in the driveway. And
Right.
when the sirens went off, they could not break him of his habit. They couldn't get him to come inside. It was absolutely. My sister left the job after that. She couldn't do it because
Because it's a routine.
he was outside when it hit.
Yeah,
And,
it's a routine, and that's like our son Tony. Tony, he goes outside in
He
our
has
backyard,
intellectual disability.
Right.
And he just
and Tony
paces.
just paces,
yep.
and you can't break him from his routine.
Yep.
He would be. He would be. He would be, Vicky. He would be a great comedian. I keep telling him he would be that, but he won't do it.
No, I told my wife, I said, comedians get paid. I would just get played. But the funny thing though, what happened with us, me, John, is we was at a cemetery at night because we rarely do night investigations. I tell people all the time because this is the first thing. I never tell people I'm an investigator. I'm a paranormal enthusiast. I don't want to mislead people
Yeah.
because there's times that we'll go to a cemetery and we only do a spirit box session. We don't have a REM pod, and we don't have all the nice little gadgets that everybody have. All we have is our SB7 or our Phasma box, and then I have my Gil counter, and just us, and that's it. So I don't like to mislead nobody and say we're paranormal investigators. No, if you watch our trailer, even says it on the beginning of our intros. We're not paranormal investigators, but paranormal enthusiasts.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Seek out the paranormal, and we also take our boys who are special needs. Before I go off track, though, I want to say the reason why, because I know people are going to ask, why do you take your boys? The reason why we take our boys is because we believe that if this is what you want to do, then do it. Don't just dream about anything, be about anything.
Sure. And so you're providing them an opportunity to participate in something they may not normally have the opportunity to do.
I don't want to do it. They have their own YouTube channels. I don't.
Right. They have their own channels.
Here's that. Oh, okay.
My son Cody back here.
Right.
He has his own.
He has his own paranormal channel or his own channel. Cody. I mean, I gotta understand though. Cody, he's got a mindset of a 12-year-old because
9-year-old
or 9-year-old because he's intellectually disabled. So you're gonna see a lot of things on there that deals with Shrek or Cars or something like that.
Reading.
And so we tell people just keep that in mind, because even though he is pushing 30 years old, he's
past 30, sweetheart.
Is he?
Yes.
Then I'm getting that old timers disease. I can't even. I don't even know how old my own kids are.
Here's the other one over there laughing at you.
That's Manny. Manny loves to laugh, and I love to see it.
He can't speak a lot, but he'll show it one way or another.
So what is the name of your son's YouTube channel? I'll type it in the chat and they can.
What's the name of your channel?
Cody Vlogs Adventure.
Cody Vlogs Adventures.
Okay, the CODYS.
CODY.
Vlog Adventures.
Cody Vlog.
And then Adventure without the S.
Okay.
Cody Vlog. Is it vlogs or vlog?
Vlogs.
Okay, vlogs. VLOGS.
With a V or B?
Huh?
B.
B. Or B.
B.
Okay. All right. If I don't have it right, let me know.
Yeah, there it is.
That's it.
Okay.
And so that's what we always teach, and so that's why we also have a small special needs community that comes to our channel also, because we want them to do anything you want in life. Don't let nothing hold you back. If you can dream about it, you can be about it.
Yeah, so that's what we do everything. We do paranormal, but then we do, when the boys were in Special Olympics, because that's what they're in Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. So when they go bowling and stuff like that, we video it, or we'll do flea markets, amusement parks. We do pretty much.
I even got them doing spirit box sessions on our videos.
That's awesome, though. Okay, so and the reason why I am like woo parents on this,
Mm-hmm.
is that's I said it at the beginning. That's what I do. I actually am a case manager for people with developmental disabilities. I find waivered services for them and stuff like that, such as the ISL I mentioned earlier, stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we do find parents who don't believe that their child is limited. Okay,
right.
But then we find a lot of them that are scared of what might happen to their child if they let them out into the world. And I am a big advocate of let them try, and then if it's too bad, then bring it back. You know what I mean? But you got to let them try at least once.
Right.
You just do. And even if it's the paranormal field, if they're into it, cool. Let them try.
Right.
And
then we've met some nice, cool people along the way through our life. We met Tennessee Rate Chasers. Barry and Brad Kling, the Kling brothers. We met them more than once.
Chasers, I'd like, woo, yeah, I'd like to be there.
As a matter of fact, I got their pictures right here. Just so happen to have their picture.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got his and
the Chris.
And Chris.
That's awesome too. Like that's not on purpose though, right? With the t-shirt rolled up and the
Yeah, that's on purpose.
They were at a conference here. We
Right.
have a Paracon conference in
Church,
Texas.
And we went there, and a lot of them knew who we were, and they were so stoked to see us
That's
because
awesome.
we're known as a paranormal family,
Yeah.
you know. And so you have Tex Front Porch,
I love Tex Front
Sidekick
Porch.
Paranormal. Who else? Oh man, there's so many people.
Psychic Paranormal.
Justin Pari from Ghost Adventures. Oh, not Ghost Adventures. Ghost Hunters. Justin Pari.
Oh yes. Okay. That makes yes. Yep.
And so it was so great meeting those guys.
Actually met the guy who.
Oh, you talking about Jason? What is his name? Jason?
I guess he was a student for Lauren and Lorraine.
Oh.
And he was one of the
he gave me this poster, and he's got a book out. Jason McLeod.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of him.
Yeah,
He's
he
got
was
a
a
book out
student
about
of
the
them.
whole about their story and everything. And so I was like, oh my god, that's so
Yeah, and then he was shocked of what all I knew of the Warrens.
That is cool. That is cool.
He was like, "Wow, I guess you did meet the Warrens." I said, "Yes." We had a long 2-hour conversation, and they were wonderful people. As a matter of fact, they had invited me to go where they were at the time up north, and I never got a chance. But I ended up seeing them a second time when they was doing a seminar. I want to say in West Virginia, and I went to that seminar, and they were so stoked to see me. They was like, "Oh my gosh, you came!" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And so it was great.
Right.
That's what when it comes to our boys. We just believe that, and everybody should do that. Be there for your kids, and support them in anything that they do. And if there's something that you're doing and they want to try it, let them try it. And if they don't like it, then it's off to the next. But at least you know.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, Jen, what about you? Do you have a favorite investigation that you might have ever done? I mean, I didn't say about
I
Eddie.
didn't tell you that.
Okay.
Because I got it on TikTok. To make a long story short, we were sitting there, we were doing a spirit box session, we were asking questions, and it wouldn't come up on the spirit box, so we decided to use the cat balls.
Okay.
And so we would ask a question, and the cat balls would light up. And so I finally asked, do you want us to leave? Yes or no? And blink for yes, don't do anything with no, and it blinked. And I was like, okay, John, we gotta go. It's time to go. And at the end of it, you'll see I have and there's another one, and this is my TikTok. You have to go on it. It's about bugs getting in your mouth at night, and we were doing a night investigation.
That was hilarious.
And
we were at the Comanche Park.
No, this is when we were downtown.
Oh, was it?
And that's when they had the ghost tours at the same time. So they noticed that we were doing some investigating, and so they was like, "Hey, can we watch you guys?" We were like, "Sure, go ahead." And right after Josh said that, a bug flew in his mouth. He was like,
Oh.
and then I said, "That's now you see how that black dude felt. They got the bug in his mouth." And then I put the meme in there of that anchorman that got the bug in his mouth. He's like, "What the? Get me out this country! I can't see pollen." And
Okay. So real quick though, what's your TikTok title?
it's Eddie, Jenn, the vlogs, or it might be under Eddie.Jen.the.blog. Just like that.
Gov.blog.
Yeah, I'm Eddie, then Jen, the blog.
I thought you said gov as in government, and I'm like,
Yeah. Yes, we also have a government channel. So if you need any kind of federal assistance, we can help you. You want to federally get rid of those ghosts? We got you covered.
all right, I found you. Okay. Probably would do more than the actual government, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, we got you covered.
Oh, there he is. My son's in the chat finally.
That's cool.
Yep, there he is.
Oh, you're right behind me. You cheating. No,
Going
you ain't cheating.
upstairs, Daddy.
So what's your favorite place though, sweetheart?
I would have to say this. I'm a cemetery fanatic. I love cemeteries. That's my thing. The older the cemeteries, the happier I am. Okay, I love old cemeteries. I just feel like a lot of old cemeteries get neglected and they're just lonely. They're sad. You know what I'm saying? They just want people to talk to and give them attention. So mine would be the
She gets mad though at me sometimes. Like they'll bring like old pictures on the headstones, especially if they're black people. And like I did that. Remember what I did? I go, and they say all black people look alike. He's all smiling. I told Jen they should have me on a box of rice. Call me Uncle Ed.
So,
but yeah, I think mine would have to be the Mission Cemetery here in San Antonio. We were doing might as well say an investigation. We were inside the mausoleum.
okay.
And then we were walking
I remember
around
that.
doing our SB7 at the time, you know, and spirits talking to us. And as we were walking, we were hearing footsteps, and we did a video on it. We were hearing footsteps, and we were like, okay. And then all of a sudden, we turned around and looked up. The chandelier was swinging, and it was like, it's time to go.
Yep. I was like, well, we came and we saw. I said, I want to speak to ghosts. I don't want to see none.
But you guys see, Dina's funny. She goes, I tend to think cemeteries are just meetup spots. Makes me wonder if there's a Tinder on the other side.
Yeah, it might be tender on the inside too. Treat a cemetery like a steak. How you like to see them? Medium rare. That's pretty tender.
I think that's it. My thing is just I'm not into the investigation. I just love cemeteries.
No, I agree. I'm kind of the same way. I also like to walk through like old towns, and I have this thing where like I just want to touch the buildings. I feel like I'm touching a piece of history when I do that, even though I know I'm really not. But how much longer is that building going to be there? It might be gone someday, And so like it's weird.
Oh, I like old things. Okay, I'm a Victorian type of person. Okay, give me old stuff and I'm happy.
I like going up places where no black people have been to before. I go there and I make fun with it. I go, well, boy, you know you out of place. You know you must be from out of town. What, you lost? You got to be lost.
Oh my!
You kind down here.
That's our laugh track.
He's so good. He's got a great laugh. I love it.
That's my laugh track. That's what I love when he's on my live stream.
We have live streams every Sunday, and he's our laugh track.
She said, "Me too, Jen. I tend to visit the peaceful ones. We have one here where Chuck Berry is in there. I just watched the video of Chuck Berry and where he was buried at. That's a nice looking crypt that he has.
So
him and his family.
So we plan on going up there to. Dina is a personal friend of the group, and so we plan on going up there to check out that cemetery actually. And it's really not that long of a trip for you guys. Just saying.
Yeah, where's he at again? Because who was there? Carpetbag.
He's in St. Louis.
In St. Louis? Because was it Carpetbag? No, it was Scott on Tape that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Scott on Tape. That tells you we watch everybody.
Right.
We do. We watch everybody because we see where people go and stuff like that. And there's a lot of places we want to go, but our vehicle, we got to get a new transmission. So we're kind of stuck at the moment. But we have faith. Right. We'll get there. We see all these places, and by gum, we're gonna hit every last one of them, Pilgrim.
I want to go to the Waverly. That's on my bucket list. The Waverly is on my bucket list, and the reason for the Waverly is on my bucket list is because my great grandfather passed away there.
Oh,
he had tuberculosis.
You want to be committed?
That would be so neat.
My mom
If
told me,
you could connect with them, you know what I mean? Like that would be awesome.
yeah, so I didn't know it until she was like, "Oh yeah, that's where your grandfather, your great grandfather was at. He passed away from tuberculosis." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me that."
Yeah.
That's
I wonder if you're smoking.
I was going to ask though. I mean, so I'm assuming, just possibly, you know, of course, you may have seen some, but have you guys watched any of our videos on YouTube yet, by chance?
No, I haven't. As a matter of fact, I am going to start binge watching your videos.
Oh, it's okay if you don't. But I was kind of curious if you guys had seen Saturday. So Saturday we did what's called a Victorian picnic with the Crossover Paranormal Society,
Okay.
where we did a live stream together. And a Victorian picnic, I guess, is like if you sit in a cemetery and you eat, but
Right.
it's a celebration of those who are buried there. You know, I guess back in the Victorian era, they would go over there and they would do it like during the holidays, during the birthdays and stuff like that, and celebrate them. And we went to this one a cemetery that we had investigated before, and it's in Pulaski County, Missouri, and it's called the Pulaski County Poor Farm Cemetery.
Okay.
Now, you know, you were saying earlier that you really like the old cemeteries. This cemetery is absolutely beautiful and fascinating, and it's the most peaceful cemetery we've ever encountered. And they had to do ground penetrating radar to see if there were any bodies actually buried there, and they counted about 100. The Historical Society estimated there should be about 150 though. And there's no tombstones there anymore. So somebody came in several years ago using PVC pipe and made all these white crosses and just put them down through rows or whatever. And you'd have to see it. It's so beautiful and peaceful, and it's just. But watch that video and you'll see it. I do a lot of shots on the cemetery itself. You know, my shot of the dinner itself was ridiculous. I had it apparently pointed at one person the whole time. But I
We're
couldn't.
not going to watch it. We're going to watch it. We're seriously going
That
to watch
seems
it.
like that'd be a great thing to do, though. Actually,
It was really neat. And I, you know, and because I had never heard of it up until that point, I almost felt like it might be a disrespectful thing at first, but then they explained to me, no, they used to do it, you know, in celebration of their loved ones that are buried there. And so that made me feel a lot better about the situation, you know,
Right.
and it makes more sense. So, so the cemetery that Chuck Berry's buried in is that one right there, Belfry Gardens.
Okay.
I have to check that one out.
Yeah, I do want to go to that one because when I seen his crypt, it's beautiful. It's really nice. I think it's just him and his wife that's buried there.
Yeah, I don't know if his wife was, but she did say his burial, I guess, is all sparkly.
Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is. It's nice. It's really nice.
So
I seen what's his name on there, and he went right there to his gravesite. He also went to his house where he was born at.
okay.
You know, so that's actually two places I like to see. Good evening, Andrea.
That's another lady from our group. So she's
Good
with the
evening.
team.
It is nice to meet you, ma'am.
Vicky wanted me to clarify real quick that the Poor Farm itself was started in 1874.
Okay.
So,
Oh, love old things.
Yeah, that means she married me, so.
Yeah, pretty much.
I funny enough, at that Victorian dinner we were talking about, so everybody jokes about Jonathan with Crossover Paranormal Society. His dad he's up there, you know, and so Daz from Spirit Brothers over in the United Kingdom, he came on the show and he said he was talking about his dad and he was like, I hear he's like 177. Well, if you guys meet my husband, he's like 179, you know, so he is an old man. I'm just saying.
That's me. I'm Uncle Ed, Grandpa Ed. As a matter of fact, speaking of that, my great grandfather though is the late Robert Johnson.
You have to tell me who. There's a lot.
He did an album. He did an album here back in I want to say I can't remember what year it was.
1930.
It was in the 1930s or 40s, something like that. But he was the founder of the Delta Blues.
Oh, okay.
Crossroads.
He did one album called The Crossroads. He did it at the Minger
He was the
Hotel.
one that they said that he sold.
Sold his soul to the devil. Yes, and look at it. Don't he look just like me? They say we all look alike.
You look nothing like him, but thank you. Well, he was handsome though.
That was my great-great-grandfather.
In the shadow, like the shadow, they gave him devil horns.
Right, because he is some. That's the legend that he has supposedly sold his soul to the devil. Yeah.
Yeah, the one at the bottom though is the one that he resembles more like.
Is the one with the hat on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can go back real quick. Oh, I can see that.
See that? And he looks just like me. I do look just like him.
That yes, that one you do look like him.
Yeah, see, and that's on the real because he was not really gifted until and there's a story behind it. He could play a guitar like you wouldn't believe, put it like that. But in the beginning of his life, he couldn't play for nothing in the world. Yeah, see, I mean, if I didn't have my mustache and my goatee, you would see I look just like him especially when I was younger. Let me show you a picture when I was younger, and then you'll see exactly what I mean. And I do look like, even my grandma, before she passed away, told me I was a spitting image of him because the fact that I'm a musician and I'm self-taught, and he was a musician, self-taught. So it skipped generations and came to me. Even his relatives there, I think it was in Mississippi or somewhere around there. But when they came up to our family reunion, the last time I went to the family reunion was like 1980 something. But they all said I look just like him.
I feel like the more you talk about him, I feel like I watched a documentary on the start of the blues, and it was in the Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like they talked about him.
They do. They probably did.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
did a big documentary
you
all the
get
time.
artists like Peter Frampton, Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney. They all looked up to him. They idolized him because of his guitar playing.
Well, and here's the thing we have to keep in mind too. The people who are all like, "Oh, he must have sold his soul to the devil." You know what I mean? Those are people who can't believe, obviously, especially in that day and age, that a black man could be so talented.
Right.
So
I agree with you 100%. Damn, I got so many doggone pictures in here. I need to take some out and put them in your camera. No, they don't fill yours up. Like, why you got all these pictures of mine? Because mine needs to be empty. Give me 1 second. I gotta take this call. This is my older brother. Give me 1 second.
okay.
Yeah, his mother,
I found a picture of his headstone. I'm trying to find it on the site itself or whatever, but it's a beautiful headstone.
yeah, it's really pretty.
Oh, here we go. So everybody can see that. Oh, Ruben, I saw a movie called Crossroads. That was about.
Yep.
That's it. Wasn't he in the movie Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Technically, I think he was because that was the guy who was meeting the devil at the crossroads in Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Yeah, pretty much.
I just love that stuff. That's so pretty. Yeah, my husband has a picture of the stone of itself from years ago.
And it said musician and composer, he influenced millions beyond his time. And it says, Jesus of Nazareth, King of Jerusalem, I know that my Redeemer liveth and that he will call me from the grave. That's beautiful, though.
I think people misunderstood him. That's all.
Huh?
I think people back then just misunderstood,
100%. 100%.
and they always thought when they did something great that was demonic or Voodoo.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I'm sorry. He's gonna call me back.
Mhm.
I'm still trying. I can't believe I got that many pictures in here. I'm not that doggone. I'm really not stuck on myself. I break cameras, not help
It's
cameras.
because you have kids everywhere in there.
That's true. I do. I'm scrolling up a lot of the kids and your daughter.
Yeah, cause see, I have a daughter too, but she's off and married, and she's my only. Well, all my kids are normal to me, even though they have a disability. You know.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
So.
Yep. I have a daughter. She's married, has 2 babies, and husband's in the Air Force, but they're getting ready to move back to Missouri, so I'm so excited. They're in Arizona right now, so
Wow, they're going in the Air Force.
her husband is, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is
Okay.
that you in the picture, by the way, Eddie, up the top from the Navy?
That is
No,
my
that's
nephew.
that's my nephew.
That's my nephew.
He's already out. He did his 4 years and he's out, and now he travels the world.
Yeah.
My
He just came
husband,
back
You know what? It's
from
in my
Africa not too
it's on
long
my
ago.
other phone. Yeah, he went to Africa, and I said, "Why did you go to Africa to see more black people? Don't we have enough here?"
Eddie.
I told him, "What's wrong? He's not good enough for you?
Oh my goodness.
You want to go see something that can barely say your name? Hey, how you doing? My name's Ali Jabbar."
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm a comedian without a stage.
He is.
I'm here all week. Thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm married. I had to deal with that all day long.
Yes, I
at
feel.
least it's not all dad jokes. My husband thinks he's a comedian, but his is just dad jokes. So they're like, I mean, really. He's actually in the. That's him right there. I saw a movie called Crossroads that it was about your great grandfather you were talking about. That's
Yes,
him, Ruben.
Crossroads. Yep.
Yep.
That was my
And
great grandfather.
Vicky mentioned, I didn't think about it, but oh brother, where art thou?
Yes. And that, you know what? I seen some of that movie. I didn't see it all. We need to watch that. Finish watching that movie. That movie funny as heck. That's the one with George Clooney in it.
It's one of my favorite movies. How's my hair? How's my hair?
I love when George Clooney does comedies. He's funny as heck. He
Yes,
really
he is.
Especially when him and Brad Pitt are together. Oh my goodness. And they're
Him and
best,
who?
him and Brad Pitt,
Oh yes, yes.
and they're best friends.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that.
They're best friends. Him, Brad Pitt, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
All three are best friends. That's why
So this
Leonardo,
movie,
you'll never see him with a girl who's younger than 25.
all right. Dogs. So Dina, so this Elohim thing is a thing that she and my husband have going on. She was trying to think of a word for Bigfoot on one of our cryptid shows, and she kept going Elo something, Ella something, you know.
Mhm.
And Ruben was all like Elohim, and she was like, "No, what? No," you know. And he was like, "That's what it sounds like she's trying to say." And so she has not let him live it down yet. And he was funny thing is he was raised Jewish, and so you know he understands all that, you know, or whatever. But
Mhm.
just you know,
I tell people if it's black people saying it, they're illiterate. They're called big feet. Watch out for the big feet.
well, and according to Dina, we shouldn't be calling him Bigfoot either. She said that they're offensive, and I didn't know anything like that until that show.
He wanted to follow his roots. Meet Kuta Kinte. He followed his roots, all right. Some people say roots.
Okay, so
I love to have fun. I really
Yeah.
do.
And he does
And
that
the
even
funny
with the
thing
spirits.
is, if you was to meet me in person, I'm the same way in person. I never change.
Yeah. He even
I
does
like that though. One of
I-
my favorite people is my coworker, and she is just the most down to earth woman you'll ever meet. But she is like a dog on a bone when it comes to her clients, and she is I don't know, she's just such a great advocate. And so like you think that she's just like that because of work and she's just doing what's best, but she's not. Even outside of work, that girl is assertive, and she gets it's done. You know what I mean? Like I love that about her because she's not fake at all. Everything about her is just so cool. But that's how I like people. Show me who you are. You know.
Yes, and here we be.
Jen's a quiet one, I see.
She is. I talk a lot. Jen
I'm
is the potty
quiet.
mouth.
I'm potty mouth. Okay?
Jen
I'm
has a
trying to
potty
be
mouth.
nice. I'm
Me
sick.
too. The only thing reason why I haven't been going crazy with cuss words already is because I don't know what your boys know, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Yes, she has a
I
sailor
have a
mouth.
sailor mouth. I'm quiet until you know me, and then you're like, oh Lord.
So, okay, guys. Well, Vicky, we have been formally invited to come onto their show.
Yes, let me know what Sunday y'all can come by, and we will make room for you. And we will also help you grow naturally. Just natural growth
Okay.
with no hormones.
Oh, you're definitely the federal government. Okay, I got you.
But that's what we like to do. And if you watch any of our videos, you'll see just that. We love to have fun.
Right.
You know, and the same with our live streams. You know, we just like to entertain and keep people entertained and informed. But when we do our spirit box sessions, we're on the seriousness with that. You know,
Right.
I'll tell jokes though, in the spirit box because sometimes spirits like a good joke. So I treat the spirits like I treat people with respect.
Exactly.
Because you got to remember, they were people too at one time or place.
That's what I say all the time. I'm like, the people. If you have an issue with spirits in your home and they're bothering you, or they come across as aggressive, what have you done to try to remedy that first? Have you talked with them? Have you set your personal boundaries with them? Have you come to an understanding that, hey, look, things are different. This is my
Right.
house. You've got to talk to them. Yes, you did, Vicky. You have to talk to them like they're people because they used to be people, And
Right.
So
I just feel like I tell people all the time, if you come to a spirit with negative intent, you're going to get that same
Right.
thing back.
Because spirits can feed off your energy. They know why you're there.
If
exactly.
you're there for negative
You know?
stuff, you're going to get negative stuff and not the way you want it. You know what I'm saying? So if you come in there with positive and happy vibes, you're going to get those happy, nice, respectful vibes.
Right.
Just like you would anybody on the street, you don't show them disrespect, you're not going to find disrespect, So.
Right. And so you treat the spirits the exact same way, and you'll be surprised at the results you get if you treat them with the utmost respect. If you didn't have nothing happen the first time you went to that cemetery, wait a week, go back, and then watch it. I'll tell you, everything changes because a lot of these spirits, if you're like what they call it, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, hit it once and then you're out. They're not going to talk to you. So you got to go there more than once.
Engage with them as humans.
Right, because now we're the messengers for them. And I let them know, hey, if you have a loved one that they may want to listen to you, or you have a message for them, you can tell them through my box that I have right here. What would you like to tell them? And if they tell me, like they say, get lost, okay, you want me to tell them to get lost? I'll tell your family to get lost. And they say, no, not my family.
You get out of here.
I love to have fun with them.
But me, I would be like, well, I would, but the person behind you might want to talk. Their turn, move.
Right. That's why. Yeah, and I tell people just watch our video, then you see for yourself. And like I say, it's not just entertainment purposes only, but it's to entertain, to keep you entertained. Because I don't want to mislead anybody. Say, hey, we're paranormal investigators. Yeah, we got all this stuff, and we're gonna go out here and we're gonna catch these ghosts. We're gonna bring them home, and they're gonna cook dinner for us. And after if it doesn't happen, you shouldn't lie to people. So just keep yourself real. And I tell them we're paranormal enthusiasts. We just love to go out and have fun. We do a spirit box session, and we bring the boys along. If they want to ask questions, I let them ask questions. But that's what it's about, though. It's a community thing. Unity. That's how you make a community.
And a lot of unity going on lately. So just having unity.
Lately, the paranormal, to be honest with you, has really been on a kind of a
Down
a down
spiral.
spiral because everybody is out for themselves. Everybody's out
It's
trying
like
to
a
get
competition. Like,
this.
why?
And
It's not a competition.
right, and
There's ghosts everywhere. Like,
right, and I'm trying to get these views, and so I'm gonna fake this and I'm gonna fake that.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you. That's something we talk about a lot. You'll see if you go back to any of my shows, we talk a lot about that. It's the people who are out for the dollar, so to speak.
Right.
They're not there to actually help the people. They're out for themselves, and and it does bother us because here's the thing: we all are after one thing: answers. We all just want to know.
Right.
and it
And
makes
that's
us. It makes the good spirit, the good people like us who are enjoying it and are trying our best, makes us look bad. Like we're fakers too, and we're like, wait a minute, no.
I've asked that question before. If a spirit had any regret, but I would only ask that spirit if that spirit may have done something to their own demise, because of a spirit that has not done it to his demise, then he's going to question me as to regret what,
Right.
So he doesn't understand why should he regret. But if you got one that did this to himself, well, yeah, you're going to get your response because of course they're going to regret,
Right.
But then you'll have some that's glad because then they can try to tell us what it's like where they are, because
That's my quest.
right.
I'm a big skeptic. I don't
Right.
believe it unless I see it. And like you, I consider myself a pagan, but I consider myself a pagan atheist. Okay.
Exactly.
And so my thing is if I come into contact with somebody on this other side, I want to know. I want to know what you see. I want to know how you got there. I want to know what should we all be expecting.
Right.
I want answers. That's my quest.
Exactly. We're like the National Enquirer. I want to know.
Yes, that's exactly it.
Exactly. I think everybody's,
Right.
everybody's
She's
wanting that.
referring, just so you guys know, to the fakers. That's when her comment
Right.
came in. So
Oh
Right.
yeah, I understand what you meant. Yeah,
Oh
totally.
yeah, I understand totally.
There's just so
That's why
many.
we do our own thing. If people want to come in with us, I mean, that's great. I mean, there's been a lot of people that's invited us. It's
Right.
just that us being able to do it and transportation is one thing, and it's not just me and Jen,
I
it's
have to
me,
take
Jen,
mine with
and
me.
our boys.
right.
So
They will always be involved. So where I go, I have to make sure that it's safe for them. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Because of that situation,
Sure.
So everything that we do as a team, we have to include the boys because
Right.
they're
Because
part of
we,
it.
and we don't use them all the time. They don't go all the time either. There's times that we'll go and do a spirit box session. They'll sit out in the truck, and they'll play games on their pads, like Manny's doing right now. So there's not times that we take them all the time, but we try to get them out of the house.
Sure.
That's the main thing.
Well, Manny can't be left alone. So
Right, Manny can't be left
And-
alone.
Tony
Right.
can be left as long as Cody's like there with them. I just, you got to have that. There's a line between letting them have independence and not having independence.
Oh.
And not being crazy about it. Going, oh, they'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and that's why you'll see I got a couple of videos where I had Tony do a spirit box session, Cody, and it's just us.
Even my daughter's in our
Yeah, and even our daughter is on some from time to time.
Right.
Well, she does spirit box session, and she's another one who's an intuitive. She's really good.
That's
So yeah, we try to make it a family affair.
I was waiting for it to come. I swear. But all right, guys, listen. Well, that comes to the end of our show. I only try to go about an hour, so
Okay.
and I need to get home because I'm in this undisclosed area, so I need to go home.
Yeah, I thank you for your time. I thank you so much for letting
Thank
us
you.
come. And you guys have got to come on a Saturday, on a Sunday, and let's just hang out, talk about how you got into it, how you got out of it, how you became a home.
That actually happened to us, though.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get with Vicky. We'll set something up with you guys. So, but
She said
thank
one
you
question.
guys.
She said one question I like to ask doing spirit box stuff is if any spirits have any. Oh, I answered that.
You
Uh,
did.
and so the answer to that is because I've answered that and said I've asked that a few times, but only to the spirits that have done something to themselves, because they're the ones who's gonna have that guilt,
Yeah.
And
Well,
that
I think some
remorse.
some that die, older, not do have regrets because like they didn't reconnect with their family before they passed.
And I think that's exactly what Dina means, is more along that lines. It's like,
Did you
when-
get to say forgiveness, or did you get to say goodbye, or did you get to speak? You know what I'm saying? Like everyone has that one person in their life that right before they pass, they wish, or they would have
sure.
seen before or made amends.
Yes.
Make
And I-
men. Make men. Oh
I think that's literally what Dina means, is like, because we all will pass away with a form of regret or another. And I think that's what she's asking is, when she does it is, do you have your regret?
Right.
That. So,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
get where you're coming at, Eddie. I do think that was just a little off from what she was getting at, but I
Right.
think
Yeah.
it
I
is.
say because maybe
Yeah.
does that make my butt look big? I'm a made man.
You have issues.
And you need tissues. As a matter of fact, I gotta go buy some later. Thank you so much for having us on.
No, yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. You guys are really entertaining, and it was nice to meet you both.
And for all you guys out there, come by, give us a try. You won't regret it. I guarantee you your bottom dollar, or her bottom dollar, because I have no money, but you will not regret it.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night, okay?
You
And
as well. Thank you, everyone in the chat.
all right. See